broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Yes! Oh my gosh! It gets us excited every time. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Amazing Race After Show for season 27, the season finale! How insane. I'm your host, James Wallington, and with me across the table is...
What's up guys? I'm Jessica Carroll, and unfortunately Marie cannot be here today, but we are going to have a great after show because there's a great ending.
We do have a great ending for you guys, so you want to make sure you stick till the end of our after show for that. But I also have a little surprise for the beginning of our after show that Jess doesn't even know about.
I have no idea.
So someone sent me a little message today to give Jess a shout out for winning the Fantasy League draft. So let's play the tape.
Up. No way. You kidding?
Congratulations, Team Jess. Just took a trip to San Francisco to visit my best friend. Check out this view. What's better than that? Maybe winning the $1 million. But hey, you won. You did a great job. You believed in us all season. And we let you down in the end, but you still had the winners. And you had 3 of the 5 teams to win a leg on the race. You had 3 of them. Congratulations. And thank you, all of you guys at AfterBuzz TV, for taking the time to recap the show. It helps turn fans into super fans and helps actually gain fans for the show. We really appreciate it. Thank you for all you do. Go Green Team. All
Yay.
Stars. All Stars? Yeah.
So,
that was so sweet of them. Oh my gosh. I love you guys and thank you for allowing me to win the fantasy team. And you did not disappoint me at all. So,
well, yeah, he wanted to send a little shout out. And of course, Green Team has tuned in almost every single week to watch live here at AfterBuzz TV. So it's been so fun to not only have them in the live chat to keep the conversation going about this season of The Amazing Race, but to also hear their perspective on what it was really like to run the race. I'm not joking, but moments later, he sent me a little tape too.
Let's see.
Oh, and thanks, James Wallington, for not only ditching us during the viewing party, but the after party on the next day. Appreciate it. It's great to not meet you, I guess.
So yeah, unfortunately, guys, I don't know if anyone was following me on social media Friday night, but I had all the plans on going to the finale party. Decided to take a little nap to like freshen up before going and getting down with all the amazing racers. But unfortunately, I overslept and couldn't go to the finale party. It was a nap that turned into a long night's sleep. So,
oh man,
my apologies for not going. I was so bummed I didn't get to meet the racers, though.
I know. I wanted to go so bad too, but I had my work party and blah, blah, blah. But I heard it was fun.
Yeah, Justin went.
Yeah.
You know, everyone loves Justin. Justin got to go. He may not be here recapping this season of The Amazing Race, but he's here in spirit, and he was at the finale party for the both of us.
Yes, he was.
All right, so let's talk about the season finale. So much was happening.
So much.
What did you think of this
crap.
season finale, Jess?
It was, I just didn't know the whole time. I was literally at the edge of my seat. I was so excited. Yeah, I'm speechless.
It was an action-packed season finale, to say the least. I definitely was really on the edge of my seat. Didn't really know who was going to win. It was anyone's game. Even at one point, I was like, Logan and Chris might have a chance.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they had their meltdown, and they were their own worst enemy, like they said at the beginning of the episode. So,
foreshadowing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's dive right into this episode. It feels just like yesterday when 11 teams were leaving Venice Beach, California, and now we're here left with 3 teams. We have Justin and Diana, who on the first leg, it was a complete nightmare for the both of them. Not sure if everyone remembers that. But, you know, along the way, they lived out their greatest dream. They won 7 legs. They hit a few bumps in the road and made a mistake that almost cost them a spot in the final 3. But they had a pretty consistent race.
Right.
So they're strong contenders. They're the team to beat. Then we have the reporters, Kelsey and Joey, who made an early alliance with the green team, but they soon found out that their allies were really difficult to beat. Every effort ended up getting greater frustration because it was a record-setting 5 consecutive second-place finishes. So fingers crossed. I was like, oh, come on, Kelsey, enjoy what you've been saying.
Yeah, I know. I was like, this is their time. This is their chance.
And then last but not least, the paparazzis, Logan and Chris. That team had their fair share of mistakes, and they argued pretty much every episode. But when it mattered, they did overcome a late U-turn in the game and broke the green team's 5-leg winning streak. So the paparazzis did prove to be strong contenders, even though they are rather dysfunctional.
So my mom watched this finale with me, and she hasn't watched all season. She's just been traveling so much. And she was like, are they dating? Like, why are they fighting all the time? Like, why aren't they kissing and holding hands? And I'm like, Mom, not all couples are like that. But literally, she was like, oh my God, they must be a brother and sister or like worst enemies. It's so funny.
Their relationship is definitely interesting. It's unique to them, and that's great. But they also did touch about that at the finish line. A little bit about their relationship and the dysfunction of it. So going into this finale, there were so many questions. It was like, will the green team win it all and tie for the first place finishes? Will Kelsey and Joy win?
Finally get a
their
first.
Final leg? Yeah. Yes. And then can Chris and Logan stop fighting long enough to actually win $1 million?
Yeah.
At the beginning of this season finale, they got their route info that told them to fly to Long Island, New York, and upon arrival, travel to the New York City Fire Department training facility at Randall Island. Logan and Chris, going into this finale, have a lot of confidence because they did break the green team's streak.
Right.
So I was like, okay, they seem to have like a pretty level head.
Yeah.
They're excited. I was like, this is a different side we're seeing of the paparazzi.
They're excited that they got to start the whole leg.
Exactly.
They were the first to
get to the airport.
Yep.
Even though this was an equalizer, which is not a surprise. All three teams, same flight to the final destination. Then we have Joey and Kelsey that they're feeling confident too. Like, we can do this. If other teams can do it in the past, we can do this. We've been a strong team, which they've proven. Even though second place, they're still a strong team. And then Justin, getting confident, cocky, whatever you want to call it, was really excited
because he knows New York City.
He's lived there for 20 years.
Yeah, and also he said that that's where he did his little replica of Amazing Race proposal in New York. So that was kind of cool that he mentioned that.
Back to where their Amazing Race journey all began.
Yeah.
Exactly. Once teams landed, it was a mad dash to Randall Island where they got their first roadblock. Who wants to play with fire? One team member had to put on firefighter's uniform and take part in a stunt training exercise with the guidance of a real firefighter. After climbing a ladder to an open window of a burning building, they had to search inside for a dummy representing a victim. Once they exited the building with the dummy, they had to place it onto a waiting stretcher. That was the first part of this roadblock. So let's talk about the first part. What did you think of this roadblock?
Oh my gosh, I would have loved it. I would have absolutely been all about this roadblock. I mean, obviously you can tell that all the equipment and the hose and climbing up the ladder was heavy, but I thought it was so cool how they actually got to like go through the fire, grab a dummy, like put it on the, I don't know. I just really thought it was very interesting. I really liked watching it.
It was very action-packed.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of, I think it was season 25, maybe, like the season where they had it was with Adam and Bethany, and they had to jump out of the glass or whatever of that warehouse. So it kind of reminded me of that action-packed stunt. This is what the Amazing Race is all about kind of challenge.
Right.
So I loved
love
it.
Challenges like this.
And it's also another thing we've kind of talked about on our after show is that one thing that makes the Amazing Race unique is how sometimes when they go to a location, the challenge is very personal to where they're traveling.
Right.
And so being in New York, and the New York Fire Department is a pretty
huge,
big deal. So that was really cool to kind of see them kind of get a little training crash course.
Yeah, and you could tell that it was very physical. I mean, Chris, when after he climbed up the ladder, he kept saying, oh, I'm so winded. And I actually thought the fact that they got him and edited him saying that like 3 times, I kind of thought, hopefully this won't bite him in the butt like when he's actually next to the fire, because they showed you how hot the room was getting. And so I was like, if he's already like out of breath and fatigued, and now he's like next to this really hot fire, but he made it out okay. So
one thing I thought was a little confusing, and I don't know if anyone else thought this, but as I'm taking notes watching the finale, every time I would hear the firefighter that they were with yelling the person's name at one point, it was like, Chris, come this way, Chris, come this way. I thought it was Justin and Chris working together because it didn't show the firefighter saying it. All I heard was, Chris, you want to come this way? Justin, go this way. And I thought it was Chris and Justin talking to each other, working on the roadblock. And I was like, why are they working together? But then I was a little, that didn't happen. But for a
I don't
second
think anybody would help anybody out.
Then the second part of this roadblock was a memory task, which is
very important.
Very important, especially in the final leg. They had to arrange the firefighter hats labeled with the capital cities of all the countries that they visited during this season of The Amazing Race in chronological order. Everyone seemed to do pretty well at this. No surprise that Justin was able to knock it out of the park.
Of course. I mean, Justin, being the super fan, he knows that, you know, especially in the finale leg, you need to know the capitals, the flags, all the stuff, you know? But I was surprised that, you know, the reporter, Joey did really well too, because maybe just because he is a reporter, he probably reports on a bunch of countries and cities, but he busted out pretty fast too.
And just like a familiarity with facts. Like he just knew.
Yeah.
So everyone seemed to like knock it out of the park. I think that speaks a lot of volume to the how much of fans they are of the race, because you know every finale leg, there's always that memory challenge of kind of a recap of their entire journey.
Right.
But
I mean, like, for me, right, like, for me, just watching, I was like, oh, shit, I'd be so bad at this. But after you visited the countries, then you obviously take note of the capital, and just knowing if you're going to go into Amazing Race, you need to study these facts. They all did really well. So clearly they did their homework, and they paid attention throughout the whole journey. Mm-hmm.
And they may have done really well on this part of the roadblock, but they all minus Kelsey and Joey, had problems with the taxi cab after leaving.
Well, okay, so this was a big boo-boo, in my opinion, for Justin. Because Justin knows better, and he knows to never let go of your cab. So if the cab wanted a few extra dollars, maybe he just didn't have the dollars, but it would have been worth the few extra dollars to pay that taxi driver to stay. Because, I mean, they're in, you know,
It's a final stretch, too.
Right, and they're nowhere, like, there's no other cabs to be found, so it was so crucial to keep your cab there.
I know. I'd be curious to know like what really happened with that whole situation, because I was also really confused by what exactly the cab driver was asking for.
Right.
It wasn't very clear.
Right, because I know Justin was like, okay, well then here's your 50, and he goes, I'll give you 100 if you stay. So I'm curious to know if the cab driver just wanted extra money, or if he just like, nope, I don't do that. I'm curious to know why Justin actually said, okay, go.
Mm-hmm. Well, it definitely cost them some time, because the cab driver I thought it was just so funny, because he's like, you know, Justin's saying, oh, we need to go to the Belmont Park, and the driver's like, I don't know where that is, and he's like, I'm just gonna go home, and just completely laughed. I was like, ew, talk about poor customer service.
Seriously.
Especially not knowing the area as a cab driver.
And that was Chris and Logan's cab driver, right, who just left?
I thought it was Justin and Diana's, because they were upset that their cab driver left.
No, but Justin let their cab driver leave before he even started the task.
Right.
And then they went up to the two cabbies who actually stayed.
That's right.
And so it obviously was Chris and Logan's cab that he was like, I'm out of here, I'm going home.
Michael Dunn in the live chat said, I think that the cab driver wanted an extra $100 to stay. Diana from the green team says, we were afraid of getting ripped off. He was asking for $100 on top of the $50 fare just to stay. So yeah, if you don't know what you need your money,
just booked it.
Exactly. Like if you don't know what you might need money for in that final leg, it's better to be safe than sorry, I guess. But you know, this is a mistake that Justin said at the end will haunt him forever.
I felt so bad.
Then we have some drama with Logan and Chris trying to steal Kelsey and Joey's taxi. And Joey, very aggressive, was like, get the hell out. That's our cab.
So I loved this. Like, if I saw a cab and I just saw one cab, I don't care whose it is, I would get in and I'd be like, put the pedal to the metal, we're going. And if someone tried to pull me out, I would stay. We've seen this before, though. When was the
With Tim and Marie and Jason and Amy.
Oh my God, I wish
Or was it Nicole and Travis? I know Tim and Marie tried to steal one of their
someone's
cabs.
Cab.
And it was like, whoa, you can't pay our cab. But I think there was a rule, if I remember just from like the conversations we've had with racers on our show, that you have to pay your fare before letting it go. So Kelsey and Joey, I don't think Logan and Chris could have taken their cab because Kelsey and Joey hadn't finished their transaction with that cab driver. Oh. That was the impression that I got, but maybe I'm completely confused.
Logan kept saying, you're allowed to take cabs, you're allowed to steal cabs. So I don't know.
Maybe it was just because they didn't fully pay them.
Yeah. But I mean, honestly, I don't know why Logan got out or why Chris got out.
And Logan's like, "You're too busy being a gentleman."
Yeah, I would have done the same thing. I'd been like, "Get back in here! Like, we're going. We're winning $1 million."
Funny. That's when I think the paparazzi started to go downhill. And this is why they were their own worst enemy in the final leg.
The bickering.
Jason L. in the live chat reminding us, yes, it was Tim and Marie that took Jason and Amy's cab that one leg.
Okay. Yeah.
Awesome. So once the team completed the roadblocks, they got their next route info, which was instructing them to travel to Belmont Park in Long Island to pick up their next clue. Once they arrived, they had to take a helicopter ride to the Hamptons. Made me think of Revenge on NBC.
Yeah, me too.
Upon landing at Southampton Heliport, they had to search for their next clue, instructing them to travel on foot nearly a mile to Shinnecock East County Park, where they had to ride a jet ski to a lobster boat, where they had to pull out 7 lobster traps from the water, empty them, replace them with new traps. Once this was completed, they got a box containing all of the flags of the countries they visited, where they had to tie them in order on the mast. Once all the flags are in the right order, a fisherman would have given them their next clue. So Kelsey and Joy were the first to the jet ski.
Yeah.
Which I was like, wait, oh my gosh, this might be like...
They're taking lead, yeah.
They're taking lead. And then Chris and Logan. And I was like, oh my gosh, Justin and Diana are in third. What's that all about? And then Justin and Diana finally show up to the jet skis. What did you think of this whole challenge with the lobster stuff?
Okay, first of all, when I was watching everyone pull out the lobsters, my own back started hurting. Like literally seeing them bend over and pull up those things, that looked so difficult. And I just kept thinking, like, what if it was just 2 little girls? Like, you know, what if, I don't know, it looked very, very challenging. But it was very interesting to watch, like just seeing all the lobsters and how many were in each cage or in each pot, they said. It was really cool. It
was. And I think it was very physically demanding. Like this final leg, I wish Marie was here to talk about it, because you know every episode Marie's always like, I'm disappointed that there wasn't enough physicality in a challenge, and that's what this race is all about.
That looked very
This
physical.
seemed to be a very diverse sort of final leg, because not only do you have the physicality, you have the memorization, and you also have like the hands-on building something.
Right.
So it just seemed like a very even keel as far as challenge.
Full circle, yeah.
Full circle, yes. I know Kelsey and Joey at one point made a comment about how like that was the most physically taxing thing that they've ever done. One of the challenges teams seemed to run into is that there was that extra flag. So instead of just 9 flags being in the box, there was actually 10, just to kind of throw them for a loop.
Yeah.
I think Justin and Diana were the first team to kind of recognize that there was more than one, because Justin made a comment that was like, I wish there was more than 9 in here, so if someone had an opportunity to mess up. And Diana goes, there is 10. And when that edit kind of happened, I thought that was going to transition to Kelsey and Joey messing up. But it like transitioned them immediately, and Kelsey's like, we have 10, we don't need that extra one, just take it off.
Right. This was awesome. I mean, I just loved how Chris and Logan were like, well, this looks like Oregon or whatever. They were just like totally guessing. It was hilarious. But Justin and the reporters nailed this out.
Nailed it. Joey in the live chat is saying, Joey from the reporters is saying, those traps were so hard, ours were tangled up, and we had to lift them all at once instead of one at a time. Yikes.
Oh my gosh. That literally looked so painful. I felt bad for all of you guys. Hopefully you guys all got back massages after.
Yeah, right. Especially if you're on the Hamptons at that nice estate. I'm sure there should have been massage therapists waiting for them.
This entire leg was very physical. Like, go, go, go. No stopping.
No stopping at all.
Which is fun for us to watch, but at the same time, I was like, oh, I feel exhausted for you guys.
How do you have time to stop to use the bathroom?
Right.
Like $1 million mistake using the restroom and like that final
And
leg.
honestly, like just going in and out of the water, me as a girl who's always cold, I want to know, were you guys like chilled? Like, was it warm in New York, or were you guys just too focused? I don't know. I would have been freezing if I was in and out of the ocean.
That's true. Joey is actually answering. A lot of the people in the live chat right now are asking how long it took to do the lobster cages. Joey from the reporters is saying probably around 40 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah. Yikes. So once teams successfully completed the
Hopefully
flags,
you guys got to eat the lobsters.
Oh, yeah. A lobster dinner in the Hamptons.
Yeah, with the massage.
Yes. Once teams finished this part of the challenge, they were instructed to swim to shore where they had to drive dune buggies down the beach to their next clue, which was the third memory challenge of this leg. They had to assemble 6 chairs featuring depictions of things encountered during the race. Once they finished assembling them, they must arrange them in chronological order. If the chairs were in the correct order and were built to satisfaction of the carpenter, teams would receive their final clue, directing them to travel on foot to the estate for the finish line. This is like the whole time this was happening, I kept thinking of Marie and what she would say. And I was like, Marie's probably thinking the fate is not in our hands at this point because it's up to the judge, which I think I was a little upset by because it's that could have been $1 million mistake based on a judge's judgment call. Right. So that's why I was kind of like, really? Like it's based on the building satisfaction. It should have strictly been on the destination pictures and rearranging them. But it should have been like a beach full of chairs that are already built with the pictures of the destinations. And they had to run out and grab one, put it in order kind of thing.
But still, like, you know, as long as it wasn't too much of a judging thing, because as long as the chairs were lined, it was okay. But if there was anything out of line, then it was like, okay, you have to redo it.
Right.
Honestly, I would have failed miserably at this because I haven't built anything except for like IKEA things. I would have not known even how to put where the pieces went. This would have been very challenging.
Right. Mary Judah444 says, it's always good when someone is screw the driving. I don't get it.
Screw driving?
Screw driving, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Screw driving. Yeah. I mean, I felt like that last bit, I lost Marie on a side note and figured it out. But I just, because it kind of reminded me of...
Because it did seem like the reporters were being very OCD about lining it up and having the nails. And then Justin and Diana kind of seemed to just get them done, but the nails weren't really in order. It seemed like the reporters really put more time and effort into the actual, like, layout and design.
Right.
So I know you are right. Like, I wonder, you know, how similar all the chairs of the other teams were.
Right. Well, it was neck and neck between the green team and the reporters. They were both at the beach, and knowing that the next spot was the finish line, I can't imagine the pressure both teams were facing, because it's like, this is really like $1 million moment. One of us is going to win the million, but it all depends on if we can build these dang chairs.
Right.
I was wondering where Chris and Logan were.
Well, okay, actually, going back to Chris and Logan, because I had a question. The editors took the time to make sure that we knew that Chris randomly still wore his fire pants and boots.
So random,
where everyone else wasn't. And then Logan made this like big thing, like, why are you taking off your shoes? You're not gonna be able to run around New York without shoes on. I was so confused about that whole thing. Like, why was he even wearing his fire hydrant pants?
Yeah. That is real. I wish he was in the live chat to answer that, because that's something I wrote in my notes.
Random.
I was like, what?
Why are you still wearing
that?
your pants? Yeah. Anyways. But you know what I did notice, though, during this challenge is that the reporters talked so nicely to one another.
Yes.
Even under pressure. I mean, that is like the all-time pressure, having one team neck and neck with you to get to $1 million, and they still, like, keeping their voices down, super nice. I was like, hashtag relationship goals. Like, holy crap. And Justin and Diana were speaking nice, and then Chris and Logan, they just...
Where were they?
Yeah,
they weren't even on the
where were
beach.
you guys? They were still guessing their flags. I wonder how long it took them to do their flags.
I tried to watch some bonus clips on that, and I couldn't find anything of the sort. But when they cut the way they edited the final like verdict of the judging of the chairs, and they had Justin and Diana here, Kelsey and Joey on this side of the screen, it was like,
oh my god,
who is gonna take the win?
I know.
Who did you think in that moment was gonna win?
Honestly, I kind of had a feeling the reporters were gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, maybe it's just because I really wanted them to, because they deserve to get first place.
Right.
But at the same time, I just didn't know, because in my head, I was like, oh my god, Justin and Diana, they did the flags. They did the flags and they got it right away, so they were off.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you just didn't know. It was so neck and neck, which is why I loved it.
So neck and neck. That when the judges told Kelsey and Joey, like,
they were like
it's
sprinting.
Great. They started running.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like. I just get goosebumps. I literally just got goosebumps thinking about it. Like running down that little stretch of boardwalk.
My heart
to the
was
estate, with all the teams clapping, going crazy. It almost seemed like they were even more excited than previous finales. More excited in the fact that the green team didn't win.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got that vibe, because I felt like people were like, thank God it's not Justin and Diana, but I love Kelsey and Joey kind of thing.
I was really happy for them. But, you know, we've seen some teams that I didn't feel like Kelsey and Joey, don't get me wrong, they were super excited, but we've seen a bigger, like, hurrah from the actual team. I felt like everyone standing at the mat, the other teams were super excited. Mm-hmm. And they were just kind of like, oh, yeah, we're excited. But, I mean, everyone shows their excitement differently.
That's true. That's very true. But alas, our winners of season 27 are none other than Kelsey and Joey. And Joey mentioned that they want to get a place together, move in together, and pay off his parents' house, which is so adorable.
So adorable. They honestly deserved it. I mean, could you imagine getting second place?
So many legs in a row.
5 or 6?
Yeah,
oh my
insane.
Gosh.
And then we have Justin and Diana, second place. I wanted to know the time difference between the two teams. Because if it was like by 5 or 10 minutes, oh my gosh. Because I know some legs, it's been, you know, some season finales have been like a matter of minutes. Yeah. Sometimes it's a foot race. So, but they seemed kind of like down in spirits in the sense that Diana made a point that like when you can pinpoint the one thing you did wrong, like that's the thing that's going to haunt you. But, you know, Justin kind of taking, like, they both are looking at it from a brighter side, is that we can pay for our wedding. Yeah. We got a honeymoon, a baby moon. And then Diana saying money can't buy what we have. So, you know, congratulations to Justin and Diana, because they completed a lifelong dream.
Honestly, though, my heart went out to them. I mean, they were such super fans. They were doing so amazing the entire race. They literally, we can count the mistakes on not even 5 mistakes probably throughout the entire season. And they were just, I mean, just to see Justin cry, I was like, oh, I almost wanted him to win.
Well, I did love when he like interjected Phil and like completed that. Like he already knew how many miles they traveled, how many countries they traveled to. I was like, oh my God. Even
the Texans were like, oh, God, super
no
fan
surprise
over here.
There.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, Logan and Chris placing third, and Phil's kind of like real with them. Like, you guys have a dysfunctional relationship. And they're talking about how maybe they need to go to therapy. You know, they never think about, I'm leaving this person, this is over, this is done. But they just need to really communicate more, you know?
Yeah, so. I do have to say that kiss that they had at the very end was, I think, the first time we've ever seen them kiss.
Yeah. I wonder if they're even still together.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. Were they at the party on Friday?
I didn't see them in any pictures, so I don't know. But that last 5 seconds when it was like breaking news, Joey and I won the Amazing Race, I thought they were going to say like we're engaged. And
I thought so too.
Why did they show that?
I know. I was excited for but then it was like, okay, we already know you guys won.
Oh, well, congratulations to the reporters. Before we have our special guest call in, aka the reporters, I think a congratulations is in order for none other than Jessica, Team Jess, who won this season's Fantasy League draft. Yay!
Thank you.
So I made a little graphic. Congratulations, Team Jess.
Not thank you to me. Thank you to my amazing teams, the reporters, the green team, and the Texans. You guys all did amazing, and I was so happy to root for you every single leg. You guys did not let me down.
You had such a good team this season. I was even jealous. I was even rooting for Team Jess, and it's even exciting because this is like your first, like every season we've done, you're always like, oh my gosh, like I'm in last place.
Literally,
Here we are.
You guys, honestly, every single time we've done fantasy teams, I have been at the bottom by like a long shot. So for me to actually be in the lead and win is huge. So I give all my 3 teams a huge shout out. Thank you.
Started from the bottom, now you're here.
Woo!
Well, so that kind of wraps up the episode portion and the recap portion. I'm going to tell the reporters to call in right now. Call in right now if you can. Smiley face. But yeah, this was such a great season. So much fun to recap.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun, too, to do it live and have so many loyal viewers tuning in every single week. I can't thank the viewers enough because you guys keep the conversation going with us. You get us to look at things from a different perspective.
And you guys give us insight. Oh.
Yeah. Oh, are we live with the reporters?
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Hello, Joey and Kelsey. How's it going?
It's amazing. To not be too cliche, right?
Amazing, of course. You guys can finally now like come clean that you guys won.
I know. It's been like the best secret to keep.
How hard was it to keep that secret?
I describe it as a dream. We pretty much put it so far in the back of our heads that we just acted like it never even happened. So it's such a weird feeling that it's actually real life, and we're still trying to realize that this was a real thing.
Oh my gosh.
You need to be pinched.
When you guys were running down that bridge and going up to the mat, like, what was going through your head? Were you guys just freaking out?
We were so spent from the lobster traps and from building the chairs and everything that when we ran over the hill and we saw how genuinely excited everybody was, I think it was Krista who she looked like she was jumping like Michael Jordan when we came running over. So everybody was so excited, and Kelsey was crying, but there were no tears coming out because we were so dehydrated. It was the coolest moment, and we've been watching the video over and over and over again, and it's still good every time.
Oh my gosh, that is awesome. Well, congratulations. You guys finally got your first win, and it was the one that really counted, so congratulations.
Thanks.
My question for you guys is, how did you guys even get involved with the casting process? Like, what was the first step that you guys did, and why did you decide to apply?
So I am a huge fan of Amazing Race. I've been watching it as it was broadcasting over the air since season 1, episode 1, and I grew up watching it with my family. So literally, as I was growing up, my mom was like, you need to learn how to drive stick shift. You need to learn foreign languages. So when you're on The Amazing Race, you'll do a good job. And I was like, yeah, Mom, it's never going to happen. So I had never applied, and Joey and we were dating, and I thought we'd be a great team for the race. So we just sent in a random application, and 2 weeks later, we got a call back, and now it's all history.
Oh my gosh.
I can't imagine.
Won.
I know, that's so crazy.
The winners of The Amazing Race. How did you guys actually prepare for The Amazing Race?
We got our backpacks. We went running stadiums with them full of stuff. We went rock climbing. We paddleboarded. We tried to do things that we thought might help us out if we ever ran into them on the race. And, of course, all the things we did, couldn't even get you ready for anything that we did. How are you going to practice dancing sideways on a wall or, performing with those acrobats in Macau? But we tried as much as we could to get in pretty good shape, and we think we did okay with it, but so much harder. It's such a cliche, but it is so much harder than it ever comes across on TV.
Oh,
I
I'm
believe
sure,
it.
Yeah. What challenge was, in your opinion, the most challenging?
Probably the most challenging thing we faced on the race was just the exhaustion. You're so physically beat down from everything that you're doing. And Kelsey can speak to it more. She busted her tailbone on that Macau jump in the water. And then, we had another leg that was the finals the next day. So anytime you see her on a 2-shot when we're riding in a cab or on a plane, she's sitting there just in pain the whole time. Aww. So it does take a toll on your body. You think a Survivor is kind of being the harder on the body challenge show, but it beat us up.
Yeah, we were literally so sick for the 2 weeks after. We always say if there was another leg of The Amazing Race, they were going to have to take us out of it because we were dead. We literally almost collapsed on the mat. And I think it's also because Joey and I gave every single ounce of energy left in us on that last leg, and we were not going to leave any regrets, and we were putting everything we had into that last leg.
Wow.
What one key advice would you give to future potential racers that makes a team successful on The Amazing Race? What is the key to success as a team?
Be nice to your cab driver. No, there are several things. Be yourself. Kelsey and I went into it knowing that we had a solid relationship, and even coming out, we know it's even stronger than ever. But just be yourself. I mean, even for all the other racers, Justin can speak to it better than probably anybody. He was just himself on there, and that really pushed him a long way. But be ready for anything and be willing to take a chance, too.
I think just keep a smile on your face. Don't get stressed out, and just play the game to the best of your ability, and never quit. Don't ever have any regrets. Just race the best game you got. And I think for Joey and I think one of the biggest reasons we were so successful is we got along so well. So pick a partner that you can travel well with.
Yeah, I think that's key. And we saw some teams not communicate as well as you guys. I always said that you guys talked the nicest together. You guys were so kind to each other, even in that last leg when it was the most stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It's so funny because we're just kind of, that's just kind of how we are. And I think our jobs help with this too. Like, we're pretty good under pressure.
Yeah.
You can't be freaking out on TV as you're saying the news or reporting something. So that helped us out. And then we're just not naturally yelling people at each other. Chris and Logan were 24/7. That's just how they were.
Yeah.
So, but for us, it's completely different. We don't have that type of relationship, which I think is good, because I was stressed out just listening to those two.
And I think Joey and I think our professions really did help us. We're both live on the air Monday through Friday. And when you're live on the air, you're delivering breaking news, you're in stressful situations. We've been in shootings and mudslides. And when you're under that pressure, you have to be giving an accurate report live on the air.
Right.
So we know how we have to be and how we have to act. So when we're under pressure, that's when Joey and I thrive the best.
Yeah. Well, I think what everyone wants to know is, have you guys moved in together now?
Yeah.
What's the status?
All right, so we are moved in together. We have a
Yay!
nice it's still a little place compared to those, Oprah mansions that are in Santa Barbara. But we are living together, and we'll see what's next. Maybe there are a few surprises along the way,
Oh, a few surprises.
Gotta wait and see. I can't give it all away.
Oh, come on. A little exclusive here on AfterBuzz.
Well, congratulations to you both, and thank you for a wonderful season. It's been a pleasure watching you both on The Amazing Race.
James, we got to clear something up. What happened Friday night? I know you fell asleep. You missed a hell of a party, man.
I know. I'm so bummed. I thought it was one place in LA. I thought it was in West Hollywood where everyone was going to go. So I planned on just going straight from an event that I was already at. And then when I remembered it was downtown, I was like, I need to go to sleep, because going downtown is an adventure in itself. And then it was just this nap that turned into a night of sleep. So I'm so sorry. I wanted to meet you guys.
Well, we missed you, man. We missed you.
Oh, well, thank
Well,
you.
you guys, we have had so much fun listening to AfterBuzz, and you, Jess, Marie, you guys are all wonderful, and it's been a blast. So we've definitely enjoyed this adventure with you guys.
Team
Well,
Jess,
thank you.
there we go. We got that.
Yes!
Well, hopefully we can get you guys in next season to come and recap the newest season of The Amazing Race with us.
Absolutely. We'll be there anytime you guys want.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. Congratulations again.
Thanks. Have a great night.
Have
You
a good
too.
one.
Bye, guys. Oh, they're so awesome.
So sweet. Oh my gosh.
I'm glad we got them to call in. That was the first time we've had a racer from this season give us live feedback.
That
so
is so cool.
they happen to be the winners. So really quick before we wrap up our finale after show for season 27, there was a preview at the end for season 28, which is the social media season. What are your thoughts based on the clip that they showed us?
Well, I know two of the contestants, so I'm a little biased because it's the
Clever TV Girls?
Clever TV Girls, and they are the sweetest. I'm rooting for them already. They're going to be so fun to watch on television. But, I'm biased. I'm in the middle. I like the social media because they're going to be very entertaining. They're going to be very fun to watch. But at the same time, and I know we were talking about this earlier, I loved that it was people who were just, fans or just random people on this show who either really needed the money or don't get to travel or, are seeing if they even are able to be, move on with a relationship. They all have different reasons. So I don't know. It's a new thing, and I'm excited. I definitely know it'll be entertaining. That's for sure.
I agree. I think I have the same mindset as you that, it's better to have ordinary people, but I have seen arguments online that, YouTubers and social media people are ordinary people who just happen to be putting their life on social media. They have a following. So I think it'll be a really great opportunity for the show to bring in possibly a new generation of viewers, which will hopefully make the ratings go up and we'll see more life to the series. Which of course I hope for you and I, hopefully we'll be on the race one day.
Yeah, seriously.
So that'll be exciting to see. But the only downfall that I have is this season with Joey and Kelsey winning, we saw on the finish line that they talk about what they're going to do with the money. Where it's I can't picture someone like Tyler Oakley's team winning and then being what are you going to do with the money? You already make so much money off your social media. And I'm not one to judge. That's great. You've made a business and a life for yourself utilizing what social media is for.
Right.
Yes. But a team like Joey and Kelsey were this is going to help us move in together. This is going to help us start our lives together. This is going to help my family. That's what I love about The Amazing Race. So that's my only criticism is you have all these social media stars. What are they going to do with the money? Do they really need it? And what's at stake for them?
You know, it'll be interesting, though, because they are used to being on their phones and attached to social media every second of every day. And for them to, you know, take this whole race and have, like, basically zero service, it'll be a good challenge even for them.
Right. And I saw an interview on, I forget which, like late night show, where Tyler Oakley was talking about the premiere of his new documentary movie, Snervous. And he mentioned that it was a really awesome experience to be disconnected. And like the first few days, it was like, where's my phone? Oh, I have all these like generating like posts going up on Twitter and YouTube. I need to make sure they're actually going up. And then after a while, it was like, no, I'm actually living. Like, I'm actually in the moment. So I think that'll be cool to kind of see the transition of these people who put their life on blast every single day for the world to see, now not having...
right then and there, yeah.
So, again, there's pros and cons to it. I think it's exciting, it's different, it's new, and hopefully...
They're going to have great audition tapes. We have to check out all the audition tapes.
Yeah, and there are some already on YouTube. So if you guys want to stalk some of the teams, make sure you check out their YouTube videos. And I'm already excited for the Fantasy League teams for next season.
Me too. I'm going to win again. I'm just kidding.
Well, that wraps up an amazing season of The Amazing Race, especially an after show here at AfterBuzz TV. Thank you again to everyone who's tuned in and joined us for this crazy ride. Jess, where can they find you on social media?
You guys can find me at DressJessXO.
And you can find me on Twitter at James Wallington, and on Twitter, James Wallington, Instagram at James.Wallington.
Spit it out.
Excuse me. And on YouTube at Where's Wallington. And hope you guys have a great new year, a wonderful holiday. And we'll see you guys in February when we pick up season 28 here at AfterBuzz TV.
Cheers to another great year ahead of us.
Amen. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.